What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Waters, and welcome to Life to Metal. It's time for a rock metal update. That's right, time for Rock Metal Update. This one's going to be a little different because it's not just new stuff. Going to be doing a little bit of what's spinning in here as well. Just some records I've been spinning, some records I picked up. So the thing is, a lot of the records I've been spinning recently is stuff I picked up. So I just thought I'd kind of mix them together this time and do a little bit of both. So going to get right into this. Picked out in California for several days, and Bill Bafford and I went out and did some record digging, and we went to a festival too, and at the festival there was some, booths there, people selling stuff. I picked this up there, and this is obviously Striper and In God We Trust, but I've never run across a copy of this particular version of it before, because this is the picture disc version. Here's the disc over here. Here's the back of it. I've seen the To Hell with the Devil picture disc several times, but I just never run across the In God We Trust one, so I snagged this one, and I'm really glad to have it. So it says limited picture disc with poster. So I did a little research, and the poster is actually this this front thing in here. It's not really a poster, unlike the original one, which was wrapped in it had a big giant poster with it as well. If I'm wrong on that, somebody let me know, but that's what Discog said. It was the only place I could really find any information about this record. So this is, like I said, limited edition picture disc, In God We Trust. I also picked up from the same seller this one. It was really inexpensive. It's just one I didn't have. This is actually just a regular remixed version of the first Striper EP with a couple of bonus tracks on there. Reason for the Season was not on the original, as far as I know. Yeah, I have the version that's cut out on the blue vinyl. I have the original pressing, several different versions of it, and I'm just a Striper fanatic, so when I saw this one, I grabbed it just because I didn't have it. And I believe this is just a US pressing, so just black vinyl, nothing too special about it. There's one that I've been missing from the collection, and a band that I've been really into as of recently. I've been playing most of their stuff over and over again, but this is one of their EPs that I was missing. This is Hex, and this is, turn this... Yeah, this is Hex Quest for Sanity. 5 songs EP. Yeah, 5-song EP. This is more of their thrash metal days, which is, I love the thrash metal stuff they do. I love their early, power metal stuff. I love their thrash metal stuff. I love their more recent album, which is more back to the thrash and power metal sound. I even like their death metal stuff, so I pretty much like everything this band put out. They have one more EP that I'm trying to find, which is more death metal in sound, but I did manage to grab this one. This is the original pressing on Under One Flag, black vinyl. There is a 1989 pressing, this is 88, on Wild Rags Records 2 that I believe is on colored vinyl. Frankly, I didn't care which one I got, I just wanted one. This one's in fair condition, it plays well, sounds good. Cover's got a little bit of wear, as you can see, but it's classic, it's mine, and you know what, I don't mind a little crust on it, a little rust, it gives it that character. Hex, 1988, Under One Flag. Let's see what's next. What do I want to show next? This one. I've been playing this one a lot. It's only a 4-song EP, but it's Haunt. And man, this is just great. Classic heavy metal, traditional heavy metal stuff. Little tag in the front of it says, incredibly catchy classic heavy metal by California-based Trevor William Church of Beastmaker for fans of heavy rock and new wave of British heavy metal. And that's exactly what it sounds like. It's so good. Just all that dual guitar stuff. Lots of just melodic leads, very, very catchy, like the tag said. Can't wait to get their full length. I was going to pre-order it, but a friend of mine, Kevin, he hooked me up with a copy, which is coming in the mail now. So regardless, I've been playing this thing over and over again. This is kind of cool too. It's on a colored vinyl. I don't usually care about showing colored vinyl because it's just vinyl, but this one is actually pretty cool looking. Looks like a big creamsicle or something. It says there's limited pressing, but I know there was several different colors of version of colored vinyl released. So I'm not sure how many of each one was, but this one I thought it was numbered. Maybe it's not. No, it's not numbered. I don't know why I thought it was. Moving on. This is one I've had for a while. I haven't shown it. It is, I have never shown it before on YouTube, so this is new as far as that goes, but this is Thunder Rider. This is their second album. Epic, classic heavy metal. These guys have been around basically since I think the 80s. They only have 2 albums out as far as I know. This is their second album. Love them both. But it's kind of that epic heavy metal. Kind of like, I compare it to the likes of like Manila Road, maybe Steer Ungle, Warlord. It's just kind of that epic heavy metal sound. You know, it's heavy, but it's melodic. No one really sounds exactly like these guys. Just like, you know, Manila Road kind of had their own unique sound, but they kind of fit into that epic heavy metal sound with bands like Warlord and Steer Ungle. So if you're into that style stuff, Thunder Rider is right up your alley. It's a great band. So this is actually a I don't know when this is. I don't know when this came out. There's no date on here, but this is 388 of 1,000, so it can't be that hard to find. There's 1,000 of these. Blue vinyl, and it is signed by the whole band. So I don't know if it was a pre-order thing or how. I bought this from an independent seller. It is a gatefold. There's the gatefold. I do have this on CD. I have both their albums on CD. I've had them since they came out. And there's the translucent blue vinyl. Matter of fact, when I bought the CD, I think it came with the band's guitar pick, because I still have the guitar pick and the CD. Very, very cool album. Like I said, if you're into that classic epic heavy metal sound, Thunder Rider, right up your alley. More straightforward heavy metal. This is a Portuguese band. I'm going to show this one first. But I've been spinning these two quite a bit. I think I've shown this one before. This is their first album. This came all the way from Portugal, from a friend of mine, Rui Martins. Him and I do a lot of trading back and forth. He used to do videos. Fortunately, he doesn't anymore. I wish he did, because I love his collection. But yeah, he hooked me up with a copy of this one, and he hooked me up with this one. So both these Portugal traditional heavy metal, new wave of traditional heavy metal, whatever you want to call it, it's just heavy metal. You know, it's very Judas Priest, Iron Maiden influenced sound, but it doesn't sound like either one of those bands, so it's not a clone. Very, very well done artwork here, and I actually like this artwork too. Although this one kind of gives me a vibe of like King Diamond. They don't sound like King Diamond, but you will get some Merciful Fate influence on here as well. If I'm not mistaken, is it one or both? I can't remember if it's both. Yeah, both of these are sung in Portuguese. So very cool. I think it's Portuguese. Portuguese sounds right. I don't know if I could be wrong on the language, but anyhow, very good, straightforward heavy metal. Sounds a little bit foreign to my ears because I'm used to hearing English, but there's just something really enjoyable about it. Perhaps it is that foreign sound, you know, kind of like the early Loudness stuff when they're singing in Japanese, and it's just something exotic about it, and I really enjoy that about this band. So Midnight Priest. So glad this one came out. I was out in California, went into Rhino Records, independent record store out in California, and we were looking around, and I was only there for like 2 or 3 days, and it was the first day there. It was the first place we went to after I basically landed from the airport. We went to the record store, and I ran across Nevermore at the store, and they wanted like $35 for it or something like that. And I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to spend $35 right now. I got the festival tomorrow. We're gonna go to a record show, which we did on Sunday, and I was like, I don't know if I want to spend all my money on one record here and now. So I was like, you know what? Let's see how it goes. I saved money to take with me. I said I'll come back and get it on Sunday if I still have money left. So sure enough, Sunday we went back over there to grab 2 records. Bill wanted one, and I wanted to grab this one. His record was still there. There was 2 copies of this when I was there, and when I got there on Sunday, they were both gone. So we went up to the register and talked to them, and sure enough, they had both sold. One of them had sold like half an hour or something before I walked in the door. So anyhow, I was like, no big deal. It just came out. I should be able to find a copy. And sure enough, I was able to get a copy online for around the same price once I put on shipping. So, you know, I got it for the same price basically. But so glad this is finally released on vinyl. This is Nevermore's, obviously, Nevermore's The Goddess Endeavor. This is just, I thought, Nevermore's magnum opus, their finest album to this point. Matter of fact, after this album, they still are putting out music, but I don't think anything reached the heights of this album. Just pure awesomeness. Of course, we recently lost singer Warl Dane when he was out with recording his solo album. He also sang with Sanctuary. This album was produced by Andy Sneap. Andy also was the current guitar player, or filling in guitar player in Judas Priest, filling in for Glenn Tipton. Fantastic producer. He's done some fantastic work, and he's done several Nevermore albums. But yeah, this was well worth picking up. It is a 2-album set, but it's not broken up into 2 songs on each side. The D side is basically blank. It has an etching on it of the Nevermore logo. Frankly, I'd much rather have it like that, with 4 songs on each side than 2 or 3 songs on each side. It still sounds good. It's not crammed on the record. Yet you don't have to go over and turn the record over every 2 songs. So very, very cool. Nevermore, This Godless Endeavor. The Hype Sticker says, first final edition of this metal milestone since its original release back in 2005. Mastered for vinyl for excellent sound quality. 180 gram double vinyl with etching plus CD, and yeah, a CD. There is a CD, which was nice. Although I already had the CD, and a huge poster, the cover in there. So just black vinyl. I don't know if it was available on colored vinyl or not. I would have still bought the black vinyl. Picked this one up for $3 out there in California. And I actually already had this one. I wasn't actually sure what this was when I picked it up, because I love April Wine. I have most of their stuff on vinyl. I'm missing their self-titled album. This is a self-titled album, but it's not the same self-titled album. You'll know immediately when you see on the front cover it's got Miles Goodwin, of course, has been the main player in April Wine from their second album all the way till present. Miles Goodwin didn't play on the first record, so unless either this was their second record with, just called April Wine, or it was their first album and they mistakenly put the wrong picture on there. But what they found out this is from John SMF Captain Howdy is it's actually their second album, the first US release, and it was called April Wine in the US. This particular one is a white label promo copy on Bell Records, 1972. It's very almost 60s sounding at times, but very catchy, good solid hard rock, good riffing, great guitar solos. Very good album from April Wine. It's not the 80s stuff, it's definitely has a 70s vibe to it. So if you're into that 70s hard and heavy stuff, this is well worth picking up, especially if you can find a copy for $3 in your mint condition like this one is. So moving on, this was a gift from Kevin Colehouse, the Metal War God. I know nothing about this band. Even showing it now, I don't. I played it twice and really enjoyed it. The band's called Orbis. Looks 70s, sounds 70s. It's released in 1983. German hard rock band. The names of are Irmgard, Inge, Gerd, and Heinz. That's the name of the band members in Orbis. I don't know what EBM Music Records even is, so I don't know if it's an independent release. Regardless, this is a cool record, and he sent this to me to check out, and I really enjoyed it. So perhaps one of you guys knows more about Orbis than I do. I'm sure Kevin does, and can fill me in a little bit on this band, but very enjoyable hard rock with a definite 70s vibe. Showed this one in a recent past video. This is a gift that came. Autographed King's X record, their first album. I love King's X, so of course I had to play this copy of it when it came. Played it once, played it twice, played it a few other times. I really like that album. But it got me into playing other King's X albums, so I pulled this one out, which is their third album, Faith, Hope, and Love. I haven't heard this one in a long time. This is an original pressing on Megaforce Records, Atlantic. Such a great album. Just some great jams on here. I just love Doug Pinnick's soulful voice, and this band has just an interesting vibe that nobody else really has. And this is actually one of the, might have been the last or next to last that was produced by Sam Taylor. And I love the stuff that was produced by Sam Taylor, them and Galactic Cowboys, and just very cool sound, very unique sound. Anyhow, King's X, Faith, Hope, and Love. This one was hard to find on vinyl for a long time, but I believe it was recently re-released by Metal Blade. Recent pickup. This is the reissue of Death Angels Act 3. My favorite Death Angel album, bar none. Very different from the first two, not quite as thrashy at times, a little more melodic. There's like a ballad on here, there's a funk song on here, so it's a little more diverse, but I just love this album. I mean, I have the original CD that I bought as a new release and play it over and over again. I still play it. But so glad it was finally released on vinyl again. The original vinyl was just ridiculously priced, and it seemed like every time I found a copy, it was like either the cover was trashed or the record was trashed, and they still wanted 30, 40 bucks for it, and I just wasn't willing to pay it. So anyhow, released on Music on Vinyl, number 402 of 1000. This is on red vinyl, Universal Music. One record, not split up into two, thank God, and just very, very well done reissue of this classic album, Death Angel. Picked this one up new too. This is actually one of my top favorites from last year. Something on my... Anyhow, this is a 2017 album from Flotsam and Jetsam. It made my top 20 list last year, and with good reason. It's a great album from them. Found this copy online for a good price, so I snagged it because it was going for 30, 35 bucks for the longest time, and I just wasn't willing to pay that. This time I got it for under 20 bucks. It is a double album, 2-album set. Again, it's broken up into 3 songs on each side. Again, I would have rather had, you know, a blank D side and had more songs on each side, but regardless, it's still a great record. But it put me in the mood to hear Flotsam, so I just started ripping through their catalog. But this is actually one of my favorites of their more recent material, and I played this one a couple times after hearing that one. This is Ugly Noise. Always thought this was a cool cover. Always just kind of like the vibe, you know, the chewed up, nasty looking piano, and just the overall that kind of goldish brown vibe. It's a very well done graphic. Really enjoy it. So the U.S. thrash metal legends return with their 11th strike, limited 180 gram vinyl, strictly limited to 350 copies worldwide. So I'm glad I have this one, and again, I played it several times. So not new, but just something I've been spinning. Another one that's not new, just got into a mood to hear some thrash, so I pulled this one out. Helmet Diggy hooked me up with this one, and him and I think it was Aaron, were talking on a video or something like that, and he had mentioned Sonic Plague to I think it was Aaron, Metal Theologian, and I just decided to pull it out and give it another spin. Very good thrash metal, local band, independent release, local band for him, on Anthrax Records. All songs written by Sonic Plague, but yeah, they're from New Haven, Connecticut. So Sonic Plague, old school thrash metal. What year did this come out? Let's see if there's a year on here, because I can't even remember. Don't see one. Had to be late 80s, early 90s. What's the Purpose? Sonic Plague. Good album. If you run across a copy, well worth picking up, especially if you're into classic thrash metal. And let's see, you got 3 more, all from the same band. I'm going to show them in reverse order. But I've been working a little bit with George Call, who's with Cloven Hoof, and of course sings for Banshee, which I don't know what I did with the record for Banshee. Because of that, I started listening to some of the Aska stuff that I already had on CD. But then I found out some of the stuff had been released on vinyl, so I picked up their most recent album, Fire Eater, and it was about 20 bucks. It's a German, I think, release, 333 copies only, and I mean, it cost me about 25 bucks including shipping, which is not too bad. It is a single vinyl, which is fine with me, and but it is a gatefold, very, very nice. I believe this is a black vinyl version. I think there was 2 different colors on this one. Maybe I can't remember now if I got the colored vinyl or not. Oh, I did get the colored vinyl. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. It's black, but you can see the black has a kind of a splatter to it. So very cool. Great U.S. power metal. I'm sure George would agree that this is probably their finest hour, the best thing they've recorded yet. Very epic sounding, galloping heavy metal, great production, catchy songs. George Call is just becoming one of my favorite modern day metal vocalists. He just has that classic voice, and if you've heard the new Banshee that's on No Lights Metal Records, he just can sing, man. The guy, kind of a, I don't know, kind of the spawn of Dio, and I'm trying to think of who else he would kind of sound like. Maybe, I don't know, it kind of has that classic Sabbath vibe to me, but not Ozzy, more in the Dio vein. But he doesn't sound like a clone of Dio either. I don't know, just listen to the music and check it out for yourself. But yeah, Fire Eater by Aska. One of their older albums, but this one I've had on CD since it first came out. This is Avenger, number 225 of 525 pressed. Same German record label, Pure Steel Records. I'm actually talking to George about possibly releasing Fire Eater on vinyl again in the US because it was such a limited run and it was only sold in Europe. Here's the gatefold. Yeah, this is the one that was just on regular black vinyl. But custom center rings, which is pretty common these days. Custom center rings is kind of what happens. And then one of their older albums, very different sound for them. This is the, I forgot the name of the album. Nine Tongues, yeah. This is Aska Nine Tongues. It does have it's on the same label. It's just a German label, but it's funny because it has the obi strip with the Japanese writing all over it and everything like that. So I'm not sure what the deal was with that, whether it was just something to make it look cool or whether it had was released also in Japan. I'm not sure what the deal was with that. Again, gatefold, black vinyl, band photos on the inside. This one is a little more raw, a little more straightforward metal, even a little fun and goofy at times. A couple of, I don't know, almost punky joke songs, I would call them. Liquid Courage was one of them, as I recall. But yeah, just some great straightforward heavy metal. Not quite as epic and power metal as the other two albums I showed. This was them early on when they were still trying to discover their sound. I believe this was either their second or third album. Because they have one or two of their other albums, so this had to be their third album. So I think I had the other two on cassette tape. But yeah, this is, if you're less into power metal, more into straightforward metal, I'd go with this one. But if you're more into that epic sound, those Fire Eater and Avengers, those are just fantastic records. So there you go, that's what I've been spinning. That's some new stuff in the collection, and I appreciate you all watching. That's it for this edition. That's it. Leave a message below. I always try and return every message. Love talking to you guys. God bless. Stay strong.